2016 champ Iman Shumpert is in the house. Iman, welcome to NBA Today. You ready for this? It's going to be a fun show. You get to spend the rest of the week with us, and around these parts when Shams breaks news right before, that is exactly where we start our show. Let's say hello to our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, you reported this morning that finally the Suns and Bradley Beal, they have agreed to a contract buyout. Now he's headed to Los Angeles. What are the details of this deal with the Clippers?
Malika, I'm told Bradley Beal gave up almost $14 million to buy out of the Phoenix Suns and join the Los Angeles Clippers. 2 years, $11 million. His deal will have a player option next summer, so he's slated to be one of the top free agents next offseason. But this is someone that had $110 million left on his contract over the next 2 years. Obviously, did not work out in Phoenix. It was a failed 2-year experiment with Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. And so over the last few weeks, Bradley Beal, his representative Mark Bartelstein, they've been talking and meeting with several teams around the league. Aside from the Clippers, we've seen the Bucks, the Lakers, Warriors, Timberwolves, Heat, all were involved here in this process. But Bradley Beal this morning decided to sign with the Clippers and team up with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden.
The Bucks, the Lakers, the Golden State Warriors, and yet the Los Angeles Clippers, Shams, are the team that prevails here. What was so attractive to Bradley Beal about joining LA?
Here's something interesting. I'm told James Harden was a focal point in recruiting Bradley Beal internally, but also speaking directly to Beal and his camp. And the Clippers really view Bradley Beal as a perfect fit alongside Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, being able to shoot 50% from the field, 40% from three-point range last season. He shot career highs in two-point field goals as well as at the rim last season. And so this is a player that has three-time All-Star experience. He's a former All-NBA player as well. They see him as a natural, seamless fit at the starting shooting guard position after the trade of Norman Powell.
Yeah, it's sort of a clear role that he slots into for the Los Angeles Clippers. Shams, thank you so very much for that insight. As we bring it back here inside our studios, Iman, do you like this move here for Los Angeles?
I like the move just because I enjoy watching Bradley Beal play basketball.
Right.
Of course, you know. But I am at the point now where I'm looking at it how you would look at a James Harden, how you would look at a Paul George, where we're saying, where do you take your team? What do you add to your team at this point, especially with you getting older? Now we have some injuries that come along. What can you add to this team and what's going to put me over the hump come playoff time? When I look at Bradley Beal, I feel like these are pressure situations because now we've paired you up with different superstars and we kind of got the same result. So you start looking around the league and you start looking for that younger guy. You don't want to become that guy that it's like, he's got the years, he's got the mileage on him, but we can't really get anything out of him. You got to produce, and you got to produce it efficiently if you're going to come and join superstars like that.
Look, the Norm Powell trade is now complete. The Clippers make that deal confident that they can get Bradley Beal, who, at franchise player money, at $50 million plus per year, it was a disaster in Phoenix. It was also a bad fit in Phoenix. He's being paid ninth man money now with the Clippers. There is a clear-cut role. They've got a great defensive infrastructure around him. This is the best team in LA getting better. This is a team that pushed the Denver Nuggets to 7 games in the first round that got significantly better today. And I think he is a great fit as a guy who, look, it didn't work in Phoenix, but he averaged 18 points per game for the Suns, 50, 40, 80. He can still put the ball in the hole, and I just think he's a much better fit with the Clippers and a much better contract, obviously, for the Clippers than it was in Phoenix.
It seems like it all comes down to the value here for Bradley Beal. It's not just the player that he is, but the value that they're getting him at, and it's very, very different looking at him on this contract than you were on the contract necessarily with the Phoenix Suns here. What is it that he can show you? You said you were all fans of Bradley Beal, of watching him play here, but what do you need to see from him to answer that question that you're asking? Because it's a fair one.
Understanding that you're coming to play with James Harden, understanding how we're going to space this floor, how am I going to help him at the end of games when I feel like the indecisiveness comes in, the 3 minutes of no scoring happening, not being able to get certain mismatches on the other end. So now you're going to have to be able to step up and guard somebody you weren't normally going to guard. Like, those are the things that you have to come and do alongside of James Harden and a Kawhi Leonard. When Kawhi Leonard can't go out there and guard guard the head of the snake. Can you come out there and guard the head of the snake? I want him to be able to insert himself in a different way, and it's not a bad pressure at all.
Yeah.
This could be a great pressure for Bradley Beal. This could be a great spot for him. Like you were saying, I love that he's, getting this done. You're getting this done for cheap. You know what I'm saying? You're getting superstar quality for cheap. I understand he's not a rock star in this league anymore, but he's been there. He's been to the show, and he's been in a playoff battle. So you want to see him come enjoy the team. I don't want him to fall into those things, whereas in the playoffs, I'm not really worried about a Bradley Beal.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want that to be the consensus across the league of, if we see Bradley Beal, we're not worried about him in the playoffs.
When you say play with James Harden, I think that is a plus here. People think of James Harden, they think of Houston Rockets James Harden. They think of he's got the ball in his hands all the time. He's scoring 35 points per game. James Harden's game has evolved. He is now one of the best table-setting point guards in the NBA. And I think you look at what Norm Powell was able to do for the Clippers last year, credit him. He obviously had probably the best year of his career.
Absolutely.
I think playing with James Harden really benefited Norm Powell, and they didn't have that table setter in Phoenix. I think Beal is in a great situation because he's playing next to James Harden.
Real quick, on the Phoenix side of all of this achieves more flexibility for them here, Tim?
They have a shovel, and they are digging out of the massive hole that they have created during the microwave Matt Ishby area. No, I'm not kidding.
A second apron team here to a luxury tax team.
Sure.
Able to have a little bit more flexibility. I see our Sportscenter over here, our researcher, is saying we need to hit Phoenix's side of this.
He's very excited to be able to have Bradley Beal on the books for $19 million a year over the next 5 years. Look, the KD trade was a bust for them. They took back, I'll say nickels on the dollar. I won't say pennies on the dollar. They're letting Beal go for nothing. Yes, they're getting some flexibility, but he's going to count $19 million a year on their cap for 5 years moving forward. But this is a recognition in Phoenix that their all in philosophy is a failure. And again, they have a shovel. They are starting to dig out of the hole that they've created.
And they're saying, all right, we're going to continue to build here around Devin Booker, and we're going to officially now close this chapter because we've been expecting this for weeks, and finally we have a resolution for Bradley Beal heading to the Los Angeles Clippers. All right, from the news of the day to the game of the night. Caitlin Clark and the Fever facing Tina Charles and the Sun. Remember, these two teams, these players, they have history. They met in June. There were flagrant fouls. There were techs. There were ejections. The rematch was at TD Garden, just the second ever WNBA game played in the historic venue. I mentioned the last time these two teams met up. I was actually at this game, Tim. I was sitting like 3 rows behind where
no wonder everyone was in a
back and forth. But Marina Mabry not playing in yesterday's game. But yeah, J.C. Sheldon, Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin Clark, a lot of history here.
I like it.
Words exchanged. This is a fiery battle. So we pick it up here last night here. Caitlin Clark, she's missed 33 threes on the road to start the season, the most missed road threes to start a season in WNBA history. The frustration just spilling out a little bit. Here's what Clark was saying in that moment. Clearly a little frustrated there, Iman. You're laughing.
I like it. I mean, she's getting that superstar treatment when you can talk to the ref like that.
Well, and then she said, all right, we got to go and win this game because Connecticut, they may be a bottom dweller in this league, but they do not go away easily here. Clark relocates, gets the ball back. She nailed that three, got that one to go here. And then Caitlin Clark, once again, driving, dishing. But you can see here, remember she missed 4 games and the Commissioner's Cup final recently with a groin injury, and she just pulled up limping a little bit on this play. And this is so tough to watch, just the emotion. She knows that she is hosting the All-Star game this weekend in Indianapolis. Just a really emotional scene on the sidelines. We're certainly hoping for the best from Caitlin Clark. Here's Stephanie White after the game.
No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there. This group has played without her. We've got experience in that. We know that we have a tough opponent in New York. We know that it's going to be a challenge no matter what, and we just got to get locked in and ready to compete.
So we hope that she is good to go. But if Clark is healthy enough, she's got a really busy week. First, he has the Fever tonight visiting the Liberty in the second game of a back-to-back. And then she's scheduled to take part in the three-point contest in Indianapolis on Friday. And then there's the All-Star game on Saturday. She's a captain of her team in Indiana. Also, with a busy week ahead, our Alexa Philippou, who's joining us now. She was at TD Garden last night. Alexa, what more can you tell us about Caitlin Clark's groin injury and the Fever's plan going forward? Because we're really hoping to see her.
Yeah, Malika. Well, Caitlin Clark did make the trip, of course, from Boston last night with the team to New York today. She had an MRI this morning. She's officially listed as questionable on the Fever's injury report, but I got to be honest, I'd be pretty surprised if we see her tonight against the Liberty. Of course, that would be a big bummer for the Barclays Center crowd here, but given the fact that this isn't even just a re-aggravation, this appears to be on the other side, the other, I guess, side of her leg or other groin where she's experiencing that injury than the last one. And there's just now these kind of injury after injury is coming up on her. So I would anticipate that they are erring on the side of caution here. But then the decision's going to have to be made about what happens with the All-Star weekend. Of course, the three-point contest, like you mentioned, she was highly anticipated to be participating in that. In addition to the All-Star game, we do know if she can't participate in the All-Star game, that Kathy Engelbert would name a replacement. Kathy Engelbert has already done that with Brian Howard not being able to participate,
right?
Kayla McBride being in, so it might have to be another replacement player. But as you said, everyone was really looking forward to Caitlin Clark being able to participate, so we'll see what the decision is made there. They have a little bit of time to figure that out, but certainly all of Indianapolis, all of the WNBA is hoping that she'll be able to be a go this weekend and also moving forward, because these injuries have definitely started to take a toll, as we saw with her emotion last night.
Yeah, we're all just holding our breath and crossing our fingers here, because my heart goes out to her. We know that Caitlin Clark, she wants to be out there on the floor. She said she was waiting to participate in a three-point contest until it was in Indianapolis, in her home city, and she was able to host. She made good on all of those things, and then this comes up. It stinks for her. It stinks for the fans, but we'll remain hopeful until we hear further about whether or not officially she'll be available for this weekend. Alexa, we always appreciate the time. We got a busy show today coming up here. We're so lucky. Summer League on the sidelines in Vegas. Zion Williamson, he checked in at Summer League. He was supporting his Pelicans team yesterday. He only played 30 games last season because of injuries. They were 10-20 with him in the lineup. Tim, do you think this is a make or break season for Zion and his future with New Orleans?
Well, I certainly think it is a fresh start for Zion. Had there not been a change in the front office, I believe he would have been on the trade block this summer. Obviously, you've got Joe Dumars coming in. It's a get-to-know-you phase.